Hey guys, Jay here. We're going to continue our movement function in this video. So specifically what we're going to tackle this time is taking into account which direction the camera is facing and then change the direction of the player's movement based on that, right? Which means we can basically turn the camera to the left and press W and the character is going to go there now instead of going forward, right? The camera's camera's rotation should be respected by the player's movement, right? That's what we're going to do. And after we are done with that, the player camera system and the movement system should be complete. And we're pretty much good to go with the rest of the stuff. Like, it's going to be pretty exciting. The next chapter, I'm really looking forward to it, which is the animations where the character comes to life. And that's where truly this starts feeling like a game, right? So let's get started with this. What we actually need to do this is to have a separate script to the camera, right? And this is responsible for keeping track of what you're looking at or where the camera is currently rotated to. Based on that, we're going to basically refer to the third-person controller, which is a script we wrote last time, and then tell that script to turn to that direction the camera is facing, right? I hope you get a picture in your head of what I'm trying to say, but in a little bit, this will start making more sense. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new script for the camera. Right? So right click your scripts folder, go to create C# script and call it third person camera. Right? Eventually, as this course progresses, I'm going to stop showing some of these. I'm going to stop explaining some of these things that we've already talked about. For example, creating a new script should be something that's natural to you at this point because you've done it now. So I'm going to skip over how to do that and then build up from there. So just make sure you watch these videos as many times as you need to understand these concepts, right? Now we have a third-person controller, we have a third-person camera. Where do we attach this? We attach this to the main camera. So click on main camera, go to add component. You know two ways to do this. The first way is dragging and dropping. Second way is going to add component, searching for third-person camera. Awesome. There's nothing added in it, so there's not going to be any properties here. So that's all good. Awesome. The next thing we do is we'll open this up in Visual Studio. We've got that opened up. I'm gonna delete these commands by Unity. Awesome. The first thing we're gonna get started with is referencing the player. Okay, we need to know where the player currently is, and then the camera can basically track that. So in the script, you're gonna create a reference to the player like we did with the rigid body last time. It's pretty much the same thing. So we want to access this in Unity, so we're gonna say public. We could say game object because it plays a game object player. Okay, so that's basically going to reference the player when we drag and drop it in Unity in just a bit. I'm going to continue with the code and then go to Unity and then put all this into practice, right? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to declare another public variable for the player rotation. So that's sort of the rotation speed, right? How fast the player rotates into the new direction when we change the camera and go into different directions, right? So we need a public float rotation speed for the camera, right? Next up, what we're going to do is in the update, we're going to basically start changing the direction of the player based on where the camera is looking at. So to do that, we can do something similar to what we did before, where we are going to calculate the direction the camera is currently facing. Now, there's a code for that I've actually noted down over here, which I'm going to explain to you in a bit now. So let's say I'm going to add some comments as well, which is going to make things easy. So rotate orientation, or sort of the direction, which direction we want to go to, right? It's going to be a vector 3, and it's going to be view direction. We can say view direction equals player dot position. Player is actually the game object. Now, how do we access position? So let me just quickly go to Unity and show you exactly what I'm talking about, right? So I didn't save anything, so it's not going to compile anything. If you click the player, I'm going to try and get access to this over here, position, right? Because this position is really important. We want to calculate the difference and calculate the direction based on the player's position. So player's position is in this component. How do I access this in the code? We do that by saying player, which is the game object, right? Dot transform. Look at this. Transform is a component here. So we're going to say player dot transform dot position. That's how we get this position. So how can you access the rotation of the player? For example, player.transform.rotation, player.transform.scale. That's another way of doing that, right? So it's not available for every single component, but transform is a specific need that a lot of game developers have. So therefore, Unity has created some extra variables to access that, right? So we're simply going to say player.transform.position. So if you go Visual Studio, you should get the suggestions as well, which makes it really easy for you to start coding. All right. The next thing we're going to do is minus new vector 3, and we're going to say transform position. Just follow along. I'll explain what this is in just a bit. All right. What we're doing here, we're not done with this, but what we're doing here is we are calculating the X, Y, Z positions of the player, where the camera is, and then we're going to feed them into a new vector 3 variable. We are going to feed XYZ values of the camera into a new vector 3. What does new vector 3 means? It's a new vector 3. It's a new instantiation. It's a new variable of vector 3. All right. So we're simply saying the X value is transformed operation of X, comma. Second value is what? It is the Y value. So that's exactly player. Yep. We're gonna say player dot transform dot. I'll explain why that is. Okay. Dot y, and then we're gonna say transform dot position dot z. All right. And then semicolon at the end. Never forget semicolons with C#, you guys, because it's gonna throw an error. All right. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna, now that we have the direction that we're gonna go to, which is basically the calculation is player's current position minus the camera's current position will give you the direction that we should head to. A little bit of math there, but it kind of makes sense. But it'll make more sense with the next couple of lines. All right. So next thing we're doing is we're basically gonna change the direction that we want to head to. So we can do that by saying player.transform.forward equals direction dot normalized. All right.